Is that Nermeen?
Yes.
Hello, good to see
I'm
you.
so sorry. I've been trying to connect, but there was something technical not working. I'm sorry
Yeah,
for that.
and
Yeah.
these things happen, right? And are you in
Yeah.
Egypt? Are you in Cairo?
Yes.
Wow, it's such a wonderful city, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. 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 It is. We are enjoying the summer now after the Corona, the COVID-19 crisis that happened. It's very difficult for anyone to travel, of course. So we went, and most of the people travel to the North Coast and to their summer houses at the moment.
Right, right.
Great.
So, Nermeen, I'm sorry we've lost a few minutes, but I hope we'll try and cover some ground here. They're running a very tight conference schedule. So, in about 16
Yes.
minutes, they'll time us out. So, what I'll do is I will take
Yes.
a quick 30 seconds to make a grand introduction of 25 years of your experience supporting education and all the beautiful stuff you have done. And then I'll let you speak because I think that's what the audiences want to hear. And then at some point, I will try and
Yeah.
come in. So we have, for the WEF audience, the pleasure of hearing Nirbeen Abu Ghazia. She's the CEO of Al Alfi Foundation. She's had 25 years of experience in education management in Egypt and the Middle East. Her focus is on children and youth in Egypt to train them, to reskill them, to gain them the confidence to then have equitable opportunities and realize their full potential. So that's really a grand vision, Nirbeen. And also, I see that you are a big believer in the power of technology to expand the world. So I will just leave you with two broad questions, but you should perhaps weave your story. You should weave your story around it. Um, One is, will technology boost jobs or will it take them away? The
Mhm.
fear is technology is out here to also drain us of jobs. And if it does, will it only take away low paying jobs? Therefore, it'll do the robotic service in warehouses, but leave management consulting or accounting or legal advice to human beings. So I'll leave you with those two questions, but you're free to take it any which way you wish.
Okay, thank you very much for your quick introduction. And sorry again, apologies for my late participation. We in the foundation have taken a trend of like around the past 6 years in order to focus on the STEM education, everything related to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, out of believe that this is the trend that is coming. The pace, of course, of the businesses around the world is changing dramatically, very quick, and at the same time, with the COVID-19 scenario, it put every nation on a review to their strategies towards education, higher education, and definitely the impact on employability and the economy in general. So let's give a quick introduction about the gig economy, where we are, everyone is moving right now towards the platform economy or the gig economy, where a consultation will be more available. The working from home will be available, like what we are doing right now. The work-life balance will have a better implementation in our daily life, and this will definitely affect and empower women. If we are talking about women here, I think life will be much easier for them because working from home, working like now from my summer house, it is applicable. Definitely, the trend of the jobs, I've been through several statistics I cannot share with you at the time being, but
Right.
the World Bank and the United Nations statistics would show that definitely there is a dramatic change of the management and the office work trend, and that there is a trend coming for the robotics, the AI, the clouding computing, and stuff like that.
Right.
Here we are talking about different cultures that we need to be ready for. Number one culture is the flexibility.
Right.
The employee or the person working for the job or looking for the job whether to have a long-term is no longer existing. Everything is very quick. The turnover of the companies will be very quick. The
Right.
culture of the organization definitely will change. All the multinationals are restructuring their offices and their I would say the systematic system of 9-to-5 job will no longer take place, and we all agree on that. There is
Right.
a more window definitely for the startups, more window for the consultation. Yet the drawback of that is that everything will revolve around the talent of the person, his potential in giving to the work. So the nations that should review their curriculum being provided in the schools and the higher education from that perspective. They should focus on the skills that is required in order to prepare an international citizen. I would be in India or in Egypt, and I will be working remotely to serve a company in the UK or the US. So I have to be ready for that with all the soft skills required for that. This is number one. The other thing is that there might be a drawback for and one of the challenges might be the French benefits that the companies are providing. And I was just chatting with a dear friend. She's working as a translator at the United Nations for the past 30 years. And she's telling me, Nermeen, now I'm in my Swiss home. I'm doing all the online translator needed. I will not travel anymore. I will not meet presidents anymore. I will not stay in a 5-star hotel anymore. I will just stay home, and I will go into with my online translator spontaneously. So everything is changing now, and we should be flexible for that. Statistically, 30% of the jobs will disappear for sure, but also new jobs will be coming up. And when we talk about nations like India or like Egypt, I would say we have a very strong opportunity here because we are young generations. And young are very flexible, are required. And this is well seen even before the COVID-19, that most of the nations like the US or the UK or Germany, they started to give lots of benefits for visa for young generation to come and join their workforce because they are more, again, flexible. They are more young. They are quickly adapting and agility to the changes happening around. So this is my feedback towards your question.
That's, I think, a terrific summary, Nermeen, and it clearly shows why you are such a top-rate educationist, right? You have the full lay of the land. You can still gaze into the future. It's interesting you talk of technology. In India, also like Egypt, we had a very flourishing technology-dependent industry on outsourcing, BPOs, for example. And the good thing it did is it almost picked very lowly skilled or less educated people in Indian society, gave them this nice job in an office, even if it was supporting a credit card operation in the US or a water utility in the UK. And it created a whole new breed of Indians, right? And in fact, many youngsters had double names. They had an Indian name at home, and they had a name like Dorothy or something else to appease to their customers, right? So the point is, it created a whole new generation of Indians. How are the young in Egypt? What are they thinking about the world? Do they study in these great STEM colleges in Egypt and then go abroad? Because Egypt also has great engineers. So, or they are now happy to serve the nation in a new sense of patriotism or nationalism. So do they want to stay back or go out?
Yes. I'm very pleased to be working closely with the Ministry of Education. We have two ministers serving education, one for the school or the pre-university education, and the other one serving the university education, the higher education, and the postgraduate studies. And we started 6 years ago to send people to resume their STEM education abroad. And
Right.
some people were really challenging us and criticizing us because of that, because they are like, this is draining the nation from the potential of the smart people serving the STEM education. Yet my review on that, or our point of view, and actually sharing it with our chairman point of view, is that if there is a brain drain at a certain point, there will be brain gain. And if a country like Egypt is not quite ready with the platform to serve the new sciences in the nanotechnology and other areas that are coming up, let us send them and create the platform for them, and then they will come back. Right now, I'm sure you are familiar with that there is the brain circulation kind of thing. It's not necessary that you will be serving an Indian citizen or Egyptian citizen will not be serving back his country if he's staying in Johns Hopkins University, for example, doing his medical degree. He can still serve us with the cross training and the online consultation that he can provide, and he can even benefit the country more and more. So right now, we are working on different scenarios in the country. One, of course, to the readiness of the graduate in order, as we mentioned earlier, to be an international citizen with all the skills and the packages he might be needing in order to deal with the world. This is one. The other thing, we should, as a nation, work on creating more of centers of innovation and creativity in order to open up and to give them the space to think, and the cloud thinking and the ideas to come up, and it keeps on generating. The third thing, of course, is to educate, not only to incubate more and more startups, but also to provide them with solutions. And if they are facing always the financial obstacles, we need, as a nation and as businessmen and different incubators, to provide different financial options and schemes that might support them. It's very unfair for a startup, he wants to have a loan from a bank, to go and they would ask him for a 3-year balance sheet and P&L statements, and he's still coming up with a new idea. So this trend now of having the big investors, the banks, moving on and trying to support the startups is coming up. It has to be more and more encouraged. I'm sure India has got a very good model in that, and we are trying to look around and to advise not only the decision makers, but the bankers and the private sector and the businessmen to look at the new ideas coming up in order to give them support and a financial push in that direction.
So, Nermeen, I think you've ideated very rapidly and you've covered lots of ground. So thank you for that. We have about 4 minutes left, so I would like to maybe ask you one or two important questions. From a strategy perspective of the Egyptian government, what are they focusing within STEM? What in sciences, what in technology? Is it biological sciences? Is it computer sciences? What types of technologies? Is that space technology? Because a lot is possible, right? And so within STEM, are there any sectors you're focusing where Egypt has natural skills or has a large expatriate population that might come and give it the brain gain, if you might? So that was one question I had. So why don't you please answer that then?
Okay, the first thing, of course, we have the strategy, the 2030 Egyptian strategy that has been executed and drafted by the minister, by all the prime minister and all the ministers. And in that regard, we are working hard at the moment in order to map the different areas we have identified as a priority for the Egyptian economy, and to try to match it with what is needed in the study. For example, we have received a shortage in the medical doctors, and this was, we have got clever doctors, and I would assume clever engineers as well. The engineers and the doctors are traveling, especially with the COVID-19 and prior to that, to different European and American countries. And we need to graduate more and more people in that field. We need to provide them with I would say French benefits and stuff that might lead them to stay, or to come up with a scenario like Singapore. Singapore 35 years ago, they started to gain again the minds and the expertise that they are having worldwide, and let them come back and build a nation. So we are trying at the moment to have this kind of synergy in identifying the main areas we are facing, also the areas that might be very interesting for the world in general, and try to map that with whatever education we are providing.
Right, right. Wonderful. So we have perhaps the last minute, Nermeen. I really apologize. I wish this conversation could have been much longer. But is there any final word that you want to tell us, and then we can try and close the session? Any final words?
Yeah, I would say that we are all standing right now, all the countries on the same, like the zero line. Everyone has to review his own strategy and the different paths that he was tackling. We are lucky enough, I'm seeing in the terms of the education, we are very lucky here in Egypt, because this has pushed the government to think more and more quickly towards different scenarios and to be more ready to what's going on. It's by coincidence when we have the Minister of Education trying to promote the new version for education and using of tablets and technology and so on, some people were really against him and they were anti-change of any scenario. Right now, he's the lucky man in the government. I always tell him, you are very lucky, because everyone was like, wow, we are ready. We were able to finish our academic year successfully and to run the online examination and everything. So everyone now definitely is reviewing, and the nations should be like, our country should be very smart to take this opportunity and move forward. And I do have a strong belief that nations like, of course, India and Egypt really deserve a better positioning and perception in the global economy and in the global scene that is happening at the moment.
So on that very optimistic note, clearly your energy, your passion, your expertise, your intelligence, your wisdom comes shining through from Cairo to us like a beam of golden light. Nermeen, thank you for your time, and sorry to have rushed you through these proceedings.
No, thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
No, really, and on behalf of the Women Economic Forum, as a token of our appreciation, we'd like to confer the award of Iconic Woman Creating a Better World for All, which I think you're clearly doing, both in STEM and through the Rania Foundation or whatever else you're supporting. So thank you very much again, and look forward to catching up soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. How many more?
Next one. Sustainable agriculture. What is this? Hi, is that Karen?
Hello.
Hi, is that? Oh, nice to see you. Hello.
I see you as well.
So we were a little worried because the previous speaker from Egypt lost 15 minutes trying to connect to the internet. So, but you're spot on, and so really on time.
No, don't worry. I missed my slide because I thought it was I didn't know that the time zone was India's.
I'm sorry, yeah. So where are you and what time is it there?
Here is 3 p.m.
3 p.m. and you are in?
In Spain.
In Spain? Oh,
yes.
Madrid, Barcelona?
Barcelona.
Yeah.
We're starting to be locked down for the second round. What about you?
We are in India, in Bangalore. We also have temporary lockdown. They open the lock, they close it. And so everyone's...
So we are the same.
Same, yeah. Everyone's guessing.
They open and they close it again.
Yeah. So very nice to talk to you. Recently, for example, I personally saw a lovely serial on Netflix called Cable Girls from Barcelona. Yeah, very famous.
Yes.
Yeah, so So nice to have the Spanish flavor. So let me have the pleasure of introducing you formally to the audience, Taryn. We have
Okay.
Karen Anderson. She's the CEO and co-founder of Impulse for Women. From what I gather, Taryn, it's a female tech entrepreneur and social impact supporting organization. You connect women tech entrepreneurs and women in the social sector trying to do impact.
No, for social impact is regardless gender.
Oh, all right. Okay. Right.
So we go female lead tech entrepreneurs and also social impact projects.
Social impact projects.
Gender.
But you connect these people with the ideas and imagination and innovation with investors, corporates, public-private organizations to get those ventures off the ground, right? That's what you do, right?
Yes.
Thank you. And I think you had great investments in DataQuarks and Galigu, right?
Yes. Well, I have been mentoring into, well, I'm jury member at the European Commission for the 2020 SME Grant Innovation Program.
Right.
We're giving for entrepreneurs 2 million euros, yes,
right.
every time for grants, and also for the Green Deal. This is related to social impact projects.
And did you go to business school in IESE?
Yes.
Oh, that's
did you?
A very nice school. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know them?
So welcome formally again to the session. I think we're going to discuss a little bit on sustainable agriculture, right? And what the current challenges are, right? And
we're talking about women in business, how to make synergies.
Okay, so
maybe synergize.
Then on the agenda, I got it wrong. So sorry, apologies, but we'll talk about what you have come for and what you have in mind. So you're saying women in business is what you
women in business, how to synergize.
How to synergize.
Yes.
So what I would recommend is why don't you put forth some points of view about what your thesis is, why you're doing what you're doing, why you believe.
Can I share my screen to see if it works?
Yeah, you could. I don't know what the technology ability is.
Well, if it's not possible, it's not a problem. It's just that I wanted to make a few in introduction about Impulse for Women. So everything it starts from there, because this is how we are talking about synergizes.
You may have to just speak, I think. I don't know. I don't.
Okay, so I just speak.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to see the chat from here, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
So I will be able to answer. Shall I answer every time that is coming into a question, or are we going to do Q&A once we are done?
What we do is, I'd like to save time. The audience is here to listen to your experience and your insights. So why don't you tell us all a little bit of your success through Impulse for Women, what you've been able to do.
Yeah, and I'm going to make the storytelling, and then I'm going to explain how females are working and synergizes between them.
And then I'll jump in with questions. I won't break your thought, but I'll come in.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks to you.
So what do you exactly do in Impulse for Women? What sectors do you support? What do you not do?
Okay, in Impulse for Women, what we do is we are connecting females entrepreneurs in technology and also social impact projects, regardless gender, and we do not care if they're in technology and non-technology, because we do also have funds that they are investing in both sides. They could be investing in water tech, agri-tech, food tech, but they're also buying cows, trucks, little fisherman boats. So for social impact, we do have another type of investors. But for female lead tech entrepreneurs, we only are connecting them with tech investors.
And is there any particular reason, Taryn, why you're focusing only on women as entrepreneurs? Do you think they shape the world differently? They see the world differently? They manage your invested money more sincerely? What could be the reason? Or their success rates are higher?
The higher reason why I started Impulse for Women was in 2017, because I was complaining why the relationship that females have with investors are so different from males. That was the first point.
Correct.
And the second point was that for being a venture capital, it's very difficult for us to connect with the startups, females to startups. We don't find them. They're all of them split off. So we decided to build Impulse for Women, a nonprofit international organization where we connect females entrepreneurs with the investors. Right. Doesn't matter which stage of maturity and economic needs are they, because we cover all the stages since the beginning until the exit.
Excellent. So, Taryn, on that, let's just stay back for a second. You did talk about this venture capitalist mindset that doesn't seem very supportive to women. Where is the bias coming from? Because venture capitalists want to make money. So how does it matter if a woman entrepreneur had a great idea that's executable or a male entrepreneur? So
actually, there is no any difference between a female entrepreneur than a male. They have a super good ideas. They have business model. Is the way that the mentality that we are constructing an entrepreneur is very different. Right. We are looking much more in long term, much more community. We are much more realistic. And there is a really good point. When I'm talking about realistics, I'm talking about the financial statements. You can have a financial statement of a female, and it's going to be minus a mistake of minus plus minus 5%. If you get in a male, you could take off 25%.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you're right.
I'm so sorry.
No, I think you're right. So you're clearly, I think women are honest, and strangely, that was also the experience in Bangladesh when Grameen Bank gave money to very poor women. And they managed to return all those loans absolutely on time and with a low default rate compared with other segments that the bank lent to. So that validates in some ways your point that in a sense, women have, in a sense, some natural sense of integrity, right? About borrowing money and returning it.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thought I had is on the investing side, you are not so bothered if the investor is male. The entrepreneur has to be female, but the investor could be male, right? In a sense, because yeah, so that's okay. So
yes, actually, we split Impulse for Women in different experts units. When I told you before that we were covering since the beginning until the exit, each unit has a board members of maximum 10 people, and they could be male and female, because I really support that the most efficient teams are coming when they're a mixed gender.
Correct.
But if we're getting data, females founders are 65% much more successful than along with males is 45%. Right. But once I just jump to the mix of genders, we're talking about 75%, 80% of success.
So that's I think a great insight, Taryn, because it really also minimizes risk, right? Through diversity, through some strange bonding that happens because of this combination of genders and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, but it has a reason. Males is much more deeper. When they're thinking in something, they got much more deeper and they got focus. And female is much more holistic. We are having, yes, this is why I say before, is like the way that we are working is in long term, and we would like to have and be very secure that every step that we're going or doing is correct. Right. Male is much more brave in that way. They're going over there and they don't care. They just go, you know?
And so Taryn, within that, within the startup, are there certain functions which by your experience are more, in a sense, female oriented, like sales or marketing or product research? R&D is more male oriented?
You're right.
Yeah.
We do have some sectors, because into Impulse for Women we cover all of them. Actually, because I do have investors from all the verticals that they're investing in all the verticals. So we are open. We do have an industry sector, and also we do have a technology sector. Right. And there are much more females in tourism, health, in marketing, and food tech, agri tech. You could find much more content over there.
And your investments are mainly within Spain or Europe, or it doesn't matter which region?
Actually, we started in Spain,
Mhm.
But when we wanted to do the matchmaking platform, we didn't find more than 150 females.
Correct.
And as I told you before, I'm part of the jury member of the European Commission for the 2020 SME program.
Right.
And I do have one side, one hat. I'm a venture capital investing in United States and Canada.
Correct.
And my fund is working there since 2008.
Uh-huh.
So professional networking, we have it from the other side of the Atlantic.
Right.
And my friends networking, investors networking is in Europe because I'm attending to all those funds in investments events.
Right.
So the way that we were growing, it was in a natural growth. And besides, I have to really mark this. Female is super collaborative. And they were saying that we were trying to help them. They were helping another ones. So they started to grow in a global way that at the beginning I was very scared. Like we were growing in countries that we don't have any presence, for example, in Asia.
Right.
So the way that we wanted to start it was asking to females from the country if they want to be ambassadors of Impulse for Women to try to grow the females lead tech economy, ecosystem.
Correct.
And by the other side, we will started to work with public and non-public international organizations. So this is why we started to work with the United Nations Women, with the United Nations World Dreams Organization, with private foundations like Everest Foundation. We also are working with Amazon, a partnership. And that's the way that we are giving support. Because finally we started like a matchmaking platform, but right now we are a connecting marketplace. We are offering a lot of services like mentorings, webinars, and any kind of support where a female, if she wants to become an entrepreneur, she's there. And we're going to push her and let her go. And we will give them support, not only in the financial way, that is one of the most weakness parts that females doesn't get so aligned, or they don't like it so much, but we provide them that point. That's the most important one, and another ones around.
And Darren, give us a sense, because your audience is international. What is the profile of a young female entrepreneur in Spain? Do they want to go create companies? Do they want to go to good business schools like you did and become an investment banker with Goldman Sachs in New York, or with McKinsey as a management consultant, or do they want to go to employment, or there's this surge of entrepreneurship where everyone doesn't want to work for a big company, but wants to go change the world in his ways? Yeah.
Yes, I understood it. It's just that the youngest females, they are starting to become much more entrepreneurs. And you could see how it's changing the mindset of the youngest.
Okay.
Also, there's something very good that females are now, they're starting to see that to become an entrepreneur, you don't need to be an engineer. Actually, there's a lot of restaurant chefs that they're not the owner of the restaurant.
Correct.
And they know how to make very good food.
Right.
So it's exactly the same. And I'm always using this metaphoric to let them understand that when you don't arrive to one point, you have a lot of people around that is going to support you, and you can hire them to complete your business.
Right. Also, in terms of investments, what is the exit plan for the companies? Do they end up in the stock market, or do you sell your stake to some next round of investor depending on the round?
Actually, we have three normal exits. One, it will be an IPO. That then you have all those like NASDAQ that you could go over there. Then you could be bought from a big corporate. You can also make a joint venture with another startup, or you can sell it. You can directly sell it to a big fund.
Right.
You always have the biggest players in private equity that they're over there searching for good business models.
Right. So, Tarun, at this stage, could you inspire the audience by giving us one example of where your intuition backed a female entrepreneur, and your bet came good. You did 30x, 100x, whatever you did, if that's the measure of success or some of the metric. And maybe one other investment where you thought you got it right. The person seemed to be bright, intelligent, aware, innovative, but market forces didn't allow growth of the company. Just to get a flavor of how an investor's tech mindset works, right? I mean, we have this opportunity to hear you, and no VC will tell us, right, how they think, right? So.
No, but I'm gonna tell you because it's very easy. We do have like a KPIs that we're all of us following.
Right.
There is something very important that startups should know. Depending on the maturity, you're gonna have a different investor. And investors, we're using different metrics. It's not the same. My early stage venture capital is investing from 100,000 euros up to 1.5 million. But after myself, our fund is coming another one bigger and bigger and bigger. That's a chain. All of us, we do have a slot. And all of us, we want that is coming a bigger one later to reduce my risk.
Right, correct.
Okay, that's one point. What a venture capitalist looking for is which problem are you solving in the market? We also want to know what are the needs. Are you needs in the market for your product, or you have to go to the clients and try to persuade them to buy you? Another point very relevant is the team. How are the hierarchy of the structure, the founders, the agreement partners? Why? Because on the long term, one of the reasons why the startups are failing,
right,
because the bad relationship between the partners.
Right.
So it's one point that there's only fundamentals, there's no any KPIs, but we really spend much more time reviewing the team than the business model. Business model, we're seeing a lot during the year. We catch very quickly when there is a need in the market and you're solving a problem. It's like 5 minutes conversation, we got it. But then it's coming the much longer part is to understand, to know well the team and to see that they have the same mindset.
Right.
Where are they going?
Right.
Another point very important is to see how are they going to scale up. There's when it's coming marketing and sales behind, and also another point, networking. Which are the networking? Are they coming from the sector? Do they have already clients that they could make when they are testing the product to someone that will be aligned and collaborate with them to make them introduce and see which weakness part do they have and which add value.
Correct.
And the last point is the exit. We're not going to put money into a startup that they do not have an objective and they do not know where they're going in the long term. Long term, we're talking in the next 5 years.
Right.
Okay. We want to know that we're giving you the money, where are you going, but I want my money back.
Right. That's very good.
That's how an investor is thinking. And there is not any difference between a female business model than a male business model. I mean, it's the same.
But Darren, I was coming to that. What about a female investor versus a male investor? Do you have a special woman's intuition?
No,
something goes in the head to say, I don't believe this team. And women, I think, like children, are in some ways born with that gift, is my view. Maybe I'm feminist, so I don't know, I think differently. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that once that they start to become much more females investors into the field, I think we will open another KPIs.
Right.
Because we're different mindset. And males, maybe, now is a male sector dominated.
Right.
So it's very difficult to tell you
Correct.
Is this gonna be a difference, or which are gonna be the differences between the males and females investors? What I'm gonna tell you that is just true for both genders is that we're venture capital. We do have money from the GPs, the general partners.
Correct.
But they're coming money from investors.
Right.
So we always have to consider that we are not only investing by our side, we are investing with money from different people, and we want to raise another fund number 3, another fund number 4, and we want our investors.
Correct.
So we also have bosses
Correct.
into our management.
Right.
We are selecting, but we have bosses, and our mission is to make profits.
Right.
So it's not any difference between a female venture capital with a male venture capital. The objective is the same, but maybe the way that we consider the business model could be different, because in a real way, both of us, we know that we have different mindsets.
Correct. Correct. And Tarun, maybe we're coming to the last 5 or 6 minutes of the conversation. So, so on the other bit that you also support, social impact, what do you do there? The audience might benefit because there are a lot of social entrepreneurs as women in the audience. So what do you think?
Actually, we started the social impact projects at the same time that Impulse for Women, right. Because all those corporate venture capitals, all those corporates, that they have an amount of money that they build up a fund to invest in their own ecosystem, and they're aligned with sectors as energy, automotive, pharmacy. When they are investing in their own fund, they're also generating a social impact, because those sectors already have social impact behind.
Right.
So what happened? All those corporates that have a social corporate venture capital, they are also covering the CSR department.
Right.
And when we detected, we said, okay, from Impulse for Women, we do have a lot of deal flow that we are connecting females, startups, social impact projects with investors, but we're also helping to corporates that they want to make a digital transformation to find proposals to become clients of those startups. Right. Why? Because a venture capital is not going to give money to a startup until they do not have clients and they're not monthly invoicing.
Correct. Right.
Who is going to give them the possibility to invoice their clients? Who are their clients? Corporates.
Correct.
This is why it's so important to have the corporates also along the ecosystem.
Got it.
And corporates have also CSR department.
Correct.
So they can go align with the social impact funds and invest also in our social impact deal flow.
Right. Yeah.
We were connecting dots. That's what we did.
Wonderful. So, Tarun, just tell us a little bit of your personal story. Why did you choose to do this over everything else you could do?
My background is coming from the private banking. Right. And in 2005, I sit down in front of my boss and ask him to start to make a call out to foundations, private foundations, to bring them to our bank, and make another call out to our clients to make a cross-selling. Because in Spain, you got taxes benefits if you're investing in nonprofits.
Correct.
So I want the bank that I was working at, but at that time it was a little one. So it was very easy to make this type of projects. Starting to select which foundations I was aligned and I like them to bring them into the bank, I started to discover different types of foundations. And in 2011, I built up a cluster Pluribus Foundations from different types of private foundations that they were having already projects and they were helping and supporting. So I used to have two hats. One was my nonprofit, that was on my free time, and the other one was working at the bank. So this is why when we start to build Impulse for Women, it was because Impulse for Women, females are weak when we're regarding to talk about money.
Correct.
This is why we help them. But we could help also youth, boys and girls if they need them.
Right.
They need it. And this is why we also started with social impact. I'm related to this world since 2005.
It's a long time now. You're very
I'm old.
No, you don't seem so. And,
Yeah.
Taryn, we have the last minute or so. So if there were female tech entrepreneurs in the audience, what would you inspire them by? What would you tell them to straight true to the dream, or go back to formal employment?
You have to be connected with what you're doing, and if you're convinced that you're solving a problem, you got a need in the market, you can make it.
Right.
Go. There is not any difference between a female business model and a male business model. And every day, more and more, they're coming on the field, more females to support them.
Right.
So it's super important. And if they think that they are not secure, you got a lot of people helping you. From our platform, we do have mentoring sessions of very high qualified people that they're investors.
Right.
And they could help you, guide you. There is no excuse.
Right.
So they can do it, and females are resilient.
Right.
By nature. So it's one of the most important qualities that you have to become a startup, because it's not easy. For sure it's not. But don't forget, because every day you're learning something, and doesn't matter if it doesn't work today, because you learn a lot of things that you could apply it in the next future, if not. And if it's not today, it's going to happen again in the next future. Everything is like a puzzle, and you're building it, a house.
Those, I think, are very, very optimistic messages, Taryn, and thank you for your wisdom. We are perhaps coming to the end of the session. So as a thank you on behalf of the Women Economic Forum, as a token of our appreciation for your genius, your time, your ideas, your inspiration, please accept this award of Iconic Woman Creating a Better World for All, which is what you're doing. Right?
Thank you very much.
But someday you can do a cross-border India-Spain investment, and so
we already have it. We do have people in India. Yeah, come on. In Singapore, in Vietnam, Philippines. Yes, we are there. You will see us in the newspaper soon.
Good to know that. So once again, thank you very much, and look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you to you and the organization. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yes, bye-bye.
Bye.